Hi, I'm Jace. I'm a music analyst, classical singer, and dancer, and today I have a special guest with me. This is my brother. He's a lighting technician, and we are going to be having a look at several different performances from both Ateez and Stray Kids. So I mentioned this on the last video that I was going to be seeing him and that I would get him as a musical theater person and like actual theater technician to come and do some comments with me. You can tell them about yourself.
All right. I am currently my occupation is lighting technician. I work with the Royal Caribbean Company. They're a cruise line company, so I go on board ships for about 7 months at a time to work on board as a lighting technician in the theatres on board the ships. I have a degree in musical theatre, so I studied singing, dancing, and acting, and then also whilst doing that, I did technician work part-time, which is how I have my current job.
Yeah, so he knows stuff.
I hope so. It'd be embarrassing if I didn't.
He has much more knowledge of the technical side of staging and theatre than I do. I have more knowledge of the vocal and singing side than he does. So we figured, well, we have the opportunity to do something together, and you guys can get a little bit more of an in-depth analysis than I usually do. We are going to look at a couple of different performances, two from Kingdom Legendary War, one from Stray Kids and one from Ateez. You guys have requested the To the World Symphony No. 9 for Ateez more than anything else, so we're going to do that one. And then because Hyunjin from Stray Kids and Mingi from Ateez were both on hiatus during Kingdom Legendary War, and they're kind of an important part of the group, we're going to do one show stage performance from each group in addition to the Kingdom Legendary War ones. Okay, we are starting with the Stray Kids God's Menu side effects performance from Kingdom. I love this performance so much. I know I asked for suggestions. Nobody really suggested anything on the Stray Kids side, so I made an executive decision, and this is what we're watching because it's my favorite one. Do you want backstory?
Yes, please.
So this group is called Stray Kids. They are 8 members, but one of them was on hiatus, one of their main dancers. During the show was in 2020 during COVID. They had a bunch of different tasks and things all related to performance that they did, and Stray Kids won at the end. Yeah, they are pretty unique in the K-pop industry because they are self-writing and self-producing. So at least one of the members of the group is in the producing credits and the writing credits for every single song that they've done.
That's cool.
Yeah. They have a core production team called Sriracha, after Sriracha sauce. And that kind of Racha name caught on. So they have Sriracha, who are the writers and main writers and producers. Then you have Dance Racha, which is the main dancers, and Vocal Racha, which is the main vocalists. But all of them are really good at everything.
Right.
They also were told that they would never be successful because their sound was too noisy. They basically developed their own genre of K-pop.
That's cool.
Yeah. And as of recently, they are now writing songs for other groups. I read somewhere that they write on average 3 songs a week.
Damn.
Right?
That's intense.
Yes. Stray Kids fans are called stays. Because you take the R out of stray and you get stay.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Wow.
And stays want Bang Chan's laptop. He's the leader of the group, the one who formed them all. He got to choose all the members of his. He got to choose the members of his group. He had played a part in choosing the members of his group, which is also unusual. And yeah, he's kind of the main writer and producer, and is always working on something. Like there are so many behind the scenes clips of him sitting there with his laptop doing producing work, and somebody will call him because he's got to be on stage in like 2 minutes. Like he'll walk out of places busy on his laptop while he's going and climb into the car and sit there and carry on working on his laptop. So Bangchan's laptop is a global treasure. And if anything ever happens to it, we will be all very upset because it has like all of their stuff on it. But at the same time, everybody wants to steal it to have access to the unreleased songs.
Sounds like classic invasion of privacy. Yeah.
It's a joke.
No, I know. Something I think is really interesting about K-pop in general is the fact that their groups are larger than most Western pop groups in general. Like, I mean, you have boy bands like One Direction, but that was 5 people, 6 people. I don't remember. And it's interesting in terms of performances because they can both act as lead and ensemble all in one contained group, which I think is very interesting, very cool.
And they swap roles.
So it's not just one person who's the lead. So everyone plays both lead character and ensemble member in their performances, which I think is really stunning. And then if they want, they can choose to make the group larger with backup dancers and backup vocalists and that sort of thing. But it's not necessary for their performances, which I think is really cool.
The other thing about K-pop that I really enjoy is that it's singing and dancing and a full performance. The focus isn't on one aspect of performance. It's not like a lot of musicians, pop stars, whoever, who kind of stand on stage and sing, and they may walk up and down a bit and change outfits a bit, and there may be a little bit of choreography and there may be backup dancers, but you don't really get fully danced and choreographed performances. Michael Jackson was somebody who did that. Britney Spears was somebody who did that. And I know Tate McRae now is bringing that back. But it's something we haven't really seen in Western pop music concerts for a long time. And K-pop does that. So that's why, one of the reasons I like it. Okay.
Yeah, let's get into it.
That's my line. Oh, okay. So these songs, God's Menu is their biggest song and was kind of the genre defining song of their stuff. And then Side Effects, you'll hear them say Mori Aputa, which means my head hurts. And it's about identity and peer pressure and trying to be yourself when everybody is telling you to be other things. So you've got all of these different things coming into your head, and it's like, my head hurts.
Something I've already noticed in the video is you have all the lights coming on into your center circle here, and then instantly it switches from a cool white into this nice orange color, which already gives me like a shift of night to day. Like that's what my first impression of it is. So it almost gives like a sunrise
Chloe.
coming out.
Sorry, you guys are getting moved. This is Chloe. She's old and deaf and loves attention, and you'll probably hear her whining and stuff during the video. The animals are always included.
Absolutely.
So that lighting thing is actually a show thing. So that happens before all of the performances. They have that dum noise, and then the lights do that shook thing. That's like a little trademark thing of the show. Of Kingdom.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So it should be on the Ateez performance too. That's like the show trademark thing. guys in white instruments. I'm sure you picked up that little choreography waiting for the they're singing live. It's the My Head Hurts. Feel free to stop and comment whenever you like. So something I'm sure you picked up earlier with the choreo, right at the beginning, here with Han. Actually, you guys all know this is Lino. Lino is my favorite. He is their lead dancer, well, main dancer. He was a professional dancer before he joined the group. He was a backup dancer for BTS on their world tour. Well, not on their world tour, on one of their Japanese tours. So he's a professional dancer who became an idol. And his vocal control and stability while doing the most insane things on stage is, yeah, that's the reason he's my favorite.
Right.
I like all of them. They're all my favorite, but he's my favorite. So, yes. And I mean, fantastic example of his dancing. Control.
So something I've already noticed is it's a subtle choice, but the choice of lights used on the walls is, I think, a very smart way to indicate setting for this piece. So the walls themselves and the lights and everything gives a sense of an older building that they're like, it seems as though they're trapped in this state, which I think is just a very excellent choice to make. And it shows that a lot of detail has been put into making sure that the atmosphere of the piece is created and curated in such a way that puts across exactly what they want. Also, I love the use of fog and haze, which you can clearly see, which provides a lot of atmospheric lighting. So you're not just lighting the actual the members of the group or the backup dancers, you're actually lighting the air and the space around them as well. And that's what you can use haze and smoke for, which is really cool.
So this is Han. He's one of the producing unit.
Also, I love practical lighting effects. Lights and sticks, stunning.
He's a rapper, primarily. So there, you can see him setting up for the mood. It's not fluid and natural. That's something that I picked up. But that is Sungmin. He is Vocal Roger, one of their main vocalists. That is Bangchan. He's Bangchan, I told you about him earlier. He's the leader of the group. Ian and Changbin. Changbin is a rapper, Ian is a vocalist. And that's Han, so he's come back. And that's Felix.
I really like the use of a bell to almost represent like the warding of spirits as bells, and like tolling of the bells and that sort of thing is like a long-standing tradition and symbol of waterway spirits and that sort of thing. So that's really cool and nice.
And I love those fabric strips at the back
Yes.
that they can put their hands through. It's
Yeah,
really,
it's
really cool.
This also the way they film it, I've noticed, has become a trend in modern media and shows, and started to creep into performances. I know at the Olivier Awards, they also used a similar technique where you have people actually on stage with the characters and or performers who are filming in and around it to give this sort of 3D,
Yeah.
like you're inside the performance space.
Yeah, they do that quite a lot with their concerts because they project them onto big screens.
Mm-hmm.
They often have people on the stage, and the camera work is as important as everything else for the staging. And the camera needs to be unobtrusive enough that if you're watching the stage directly from the audience, the camera is not like in the way.
Yeah.
But it also needs to be clever and fit in with how things work so that the people who are sitting at the back of the stadium can see what's going on.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh, another thing about the bell noise, that kind of church bell tolling noise is one that they use in a couple of their different songs. They have two primary bell noises that they use. They have a ding, like a hotel lobby bell or a kitchen bell. And then they have this deep church bell sound. Felix is primarily a dancer. I love that. That's so cool. This is now God's Menu. The other one was Side Effects. That's one of the chants. We were talking about LEDs on the stage.
Yes, having with all the wonderful new technology that exists in the world,
Right.
having LEDs and lights being able to come from every single angle is offering a lot of really cool new effects that you would never have in traditional theater. And like all this underfloor lighting is really, really cool and interesting because it's not something you get to see often, especially in a lot of Western performances, because the Eastern and Asian side of the world is very big into developing theater technology and pushing the boundaries in that regard. So it's really cool to see this kind of thing being used actively a lot.
I'm taking notes. This is flippin' cool.
That chorus string.
Right? Just listen to the orchestral strings in there as well. I love the way the set evolves while they're busy. Oh, Function's got the bell now. Yeah, so that was that one. So this is what they call in K-pop an ending fairy, where they focus on people's faces and they stand there and just have to look at the camera or pull faces. Okay, so that Evil Live thing, I don't know, Evil Live Live. I don't know if you saw that they had it in the LED screen at the back as well. It's a thing, and it's more complicated than I think I can explain now. But it's like one of their things.
Something I think is really cool that they've done is they've really used lighting to show different segments of the performance. So every segment, every change in the music going from section to section has a different color scheme to it. And then here at the end, you can see the Stray Kids are in orange, whereas all the other people are in blue, signifying the shift between and the difference between the two groups on stage. It's subtle, but it's really effective.
Bit of background on Ateez. I don't know them anywhere near as well as I know this lot. They are, or that lot, Stray Kids, they are more vocal focused than Stray Kids is. Stray Kids is very rap heavy. Ateez also has a lot of rap, but they do a lot more vocal harmony, multi-part harmony, and they don't produce all of their own stuff. Hongjun, their leader, is part of the writing and production unit for all of their stuff, but they have a team at the company that they work for with under that does their writing and all of that. Yeah, there are also 8 members, but we're missing Mingi, who is one of their main rappers.
Right.
Also, their leader Hongjun is the little one. He's the shortest of the lot. So this is the equivalent Ateez performance. So this was for the same task.
Right.
At this point in time, they had a lot of like nautical piratey themed stuff because their debut was like Treasure Pirate King Wave. Are you hearing it? Okay.
In the background?
In the background, that is Symphony No. 9. So they've mashed up their song with Symphony No. 9.
Nice.
It's amazing.
I really like that they're already setting the whole atmosphere and the tone and the vibe, everything.
They
just
do.
In the first few seconds, you know exactly where you are and what you're getting.
They do atmosphere and vibe and lore and stuff really, really well. I love this one, and I love all of their Kingdom performances because this is not the only one that they mash up with classical music. Right. I love the fact that they mash their songs with classical music because I'm a nerd. So you see what I mean about the lighting thing being a...
So you can already tell exactly where you are just from the subtle, like there are almost water effects happening on the floor, as you can see, and then the people working, the nautical elements, you know exactly where you are, and it's the first like 3 frames of the performance, and it's really smart and well thought out.
Oh, that's the other thing. So the title of this challenge was called To the World, and it was, what do you want to show the world of your group? The name of the symphony that this comes from, it's Dvorak's New World Symphony. Right?
Smart.
Right? Which is one of my favorite symphonies as well. So, like, just stacking all the cards. That is Hongjun. And that is part of their lore, that hourglass. Dum, 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 dum. Ah. Nice direction of the camera. So this is the actual song now, the orchestral elements. That's Sam, he's one of everybody's favorites. That's Jongho, he's their main vocalist. He's insane. How cool is it? Sorry, I'm
Having the symphony in the background is so smart, especially with the staging, to give you a sense of period. So listening to this, it makes it feel old, like it's from a different time period that we're in, because it is. And I think that's a really, really smart choice.
That's not an aspect I'd actually thought of.
Yeah, it's
tape markings.
Yeah, as you can see, there's tape on the floor. Those are called spikes, and as Jason's probably told you, those are how the performers know where to stand and where to start and stop choreography, and also where the set is supposed to be. Those are the two main functions for those spike marks on the floor, and they're usually white or some form of luminescent so that you can see them in the dark.
I didn't know that they were called spikes until you told me yesterday.
Yeah,
I've always just called them marks, because hitting your marks.
Yes.
Yeah. We can go from there, so that I can no doubt over the symphony in the background again some more. I love that combination. Okay, I can't see well enough to tell you who that is. It looks like it was Woo Young.
I love a practical set piece that, when creating scale on stage, I think is a really important part of theatre. So having a tentacle, as what I assume is part of the Kraken, in this sense, and having it actually a real thing on stage that's physical and moving, I think is such a smart choice.
Right.
I think I've said smart choice about 100,000 times.
That's
because
right.
all they do is smart choices. Love it. And that's why they're professionals.
Yeah, I think that's Woo Young. He's one of their main dancers as well. But like with Stray Kids, they can all dance and they can all sing. Like, yeah. You speak about Triple Threat. Most of them in the group have been in a K-drama, so they act as well.
Nice.
That dun 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 with the feet. Jongho singing again. Is that Yunho? No. Rifles!
Oh.
What was that?
There's nothing I love more than a sound effect perfectly coordinated
Right?
into music and choreography.
They do that so well.
The gun cock and the spin, stunning.
Right? So I don't know Ateez well enough to be able to pick up on which member is who without getting a good look at their faces.
Mm-hmm.
So 18 please be nice. 18 is their fandom name. And yeah, so
That just reminds me of Utini,
which is actually from Zulu. So the Jawa language in Star Wars is from Zulu. Utini, like Tina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a while. No.
Let's go back because that gun cock moment deserves to be
watched again. I agree.
Yeah, and also
this formation,
the rifles,
stunning.
So I did majorettes for a while, and that rifle stuff is one of the styles of dance that we did, and it makes my soul so happy to see it elsewhere. Down, what the beat as well.
Oh.
That is Jongho. And his vocals are amazing. Sam, his vocals and dancing, it's amazing. They're all amazing. Like,
that's a top B.
That's insane.
That's a top B.
this man is crazy. He also just like casually breaks apples in half while he's singing, and his voice does not even move. And if that's not a fantastic display of vocal support and like strength, then I don't know what is. Change your feel. Okay, so in the middle singing there was Yunho, I think. Yes. That's Songhua. He's one of their main dancers. He's the one who did the flip with the... Yes, that is definitely Songhua. That is Wooyoung, another one of the main dancers. San, main dancer and vocalist. Hongjun, leader of the group. And where is Yeosang? I didn't see him. He's one of my favorites. He's got a really deep voice, but like warm and fluffy. If you can describe a voice as warm and fluffy, like it's warm and rich and comforting and just yum. Specifically for the Patreon viewers, there is another one that I want to do.
진짜 마지막 힘내라.
나무가 보였어.
무슨 노래 할까? 나 진짜 집중해서 볼까? 떨려. 왜 이렇게 떨리지?
I can't remember which of those groups' song it is, but it's one of their songs.
Ah.
So they had to switch.
So this is the first time I've gotten to look at the floor properly, which is so interesting. So you see there are just a whole lot of dots on the floor, right? So those dots are actually each in themselves a little LED, and those all together, it's like looking at a TV screen really close up. You can start to see all the pixels. Basically, each of those little LEDs represents like a pixel, and when you're zoomed out, it creates a whole image for you to see. But if you zoom in here, you can actually see all the little dots. So that's what all the LED walls and stuff look like. And you wouldn't think that that would create a picture, but we'll probably see later on that it'll have a really nice, smooth looking picture on it. And they will map whatever image that they're doing onto that LED.
Pixel mapping.
Pixel mapping.
That we were discussing yesterday with the stadiums and the light sticks.
Exactly. So to continue on that, it's probably a very good chance that all of these, so even I'm trying to point and you can't see what the screen is. That's hilarious. The screen in the background and on the sides, these are probably also LED walls. They're just further away. So if you were to have the camera up close to the back wall, you would see the same LEDs on the floor here, most likely. Whoever's in charge will send through the design or what they want, and then it's up to the technicians to do it as best they can. Often they have a very short time limit. Oh my word, that's scary.
Yeah, no, tiny and terrifying.
Right.
Hey, you finally get to hear Han rapping.
Yay.
Not pretending to be a vocalist.
Right.
Well,
successfully
being a vocalist.
Did you notice the back wall is an LED
I did
wall?
notice the back wall.
When you have the lighting, the choreography, and the music all click at the same time, it just gives the most magical electrical effect.
Mhm.
It's stunning. The soft red lighting at the beginning is so stunning. Ooh.
Right.
I love just before the cool lighting changed. That harmony was so nice. To get the effect of switching from all the lights happening to only a few, making sure that you don't overdo it and completely like lose the people on stage, and getting it just right. Props to the person who did that.